Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome. And let me show you the star attraction. It's Marky. No, okay, John. Well, Tony the Tiger. How you doing, Tony Tiger?
Good. Tony's a tiger. He's a
my man. Tony.
Tonight
my bambino.
Tonight I may be a lion.
Okay, folks. Hey, I'll shut up for a while. Welcome to the Zoom, and I'm going to let, for right now, Franco from SpaghettiOs take it over before he turns it over. Take it, Frankie.
Oh, we're just going to have. Franco or Frank from Federalist? Which one are you handing it over to, Larry?
Well, SpaghettiOs is going to be Frank from Federalist.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, Franco.
He's a spaghetti guy.
Okay.
Close. I had a nice salad for dinner anyway. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, John. Thanks again for joining us. I know we had a successful last time we did this. I think late last year went really well there too. It's been a few months. There's been doing some new products. So you could take it away from here and talk about the latest products from DuPont and Visconti, especially the new carousel demo. And I wanted to talk about the lighters too, because we really didn't spend any time with that the last time. And there's a couple really good product lines coming out lighter wise too.
Well, the last time I spoke with you guys, I just started with Coles of London, and June 1st will be my 1-year anniversary with them.
Wow.
Nice.
So it's like, pretty, I know a whole lot more about Visconti than I did then. And a little bit more about DuPont too. I mean, Visconti has been really interesting to sell because it seems like they have a new launch like every 6 weeks, which is good for us. It's good for the dealers that we sell to. And it's good for the consumers to keep the interest going in the brand. The new Opera demo carousel is just very cool. It's funny because I'm all the way out in Washington State, companies in North Carolina. So I'm like the last one to get any samples because we sell all this stuff and we sell out of it. But I was lucky enough that they did send me some samples of the Opera demo carousel. And I had a chance to look at them today, and they are absolutely amazing. I had pictures of them for a week, and the pictures just don't do them justice. And I've been playing with this filler all day. This is now, Italy named a couple of these pens. So this is called, and this is for you, Larry, Pink Blush. Okay. It's got a 14 karat gold nib. It's got the double reservoir power filter. It's got the hook safe lock. It's got a 14 karat in-house nib. It's just an amazing looking pen. And for the fountain, it's got a retail $750, which I think is pretty
How much again? How much?
$750.
Wow, that's cool. I'll take 10. Okay.
Done, Larry, right?
Yeah.
Frank, done.
Money's no problem. Go ahead. In fact, Tony will back me up. Yeah.
So we've got the pink blush.
Hey, Marilyn. Yeah.
We've got the green mint, which I'm not a fan of green pens, but I really, really like this a lot. It's almost got like some yellows in it.
Wow, that's pretty.
Then we've got the red velvet.
I like that one too.
And that's really nice too. The thing I started to show you about the power filler is that the rod is clear acrylic. So it's not going to mess with it's not going to change the ink colors or block it out in any way. So I thought that was a pretty cool innovation that Italy did. And the last one, and don't mock me because it's a ballpoint. They just sent me whatever they wanted. This is called Blue Cotton Candy.
Oh man.
Alan's got his favorite.
Go purple already.
And the rollerball runs 450, the ballpoint runs 350, and as I said, the fountain with a 14 karat nib is 750. And again,
John, I've got a big question for you on this regarding this pen.
Yeah.
I've heard it called, I don't know whether it was the Andersons or whatever, they called it an Opera Master, but it's more in the size of an opera, correct?
It is not an Opera Master.
So it's in the size of a regular opera.
Yes, and I got that cleared up right away because originally it had come to me from Italy as saying opera master, and we cleared that up at the office. That was not an opera master, so that's why it was given the name Opera Demo Carousel.
Got it.
Yeah. That's how I have it listed. Yes.
Mhm.
And these were in stock. I haven't checked lately. I don't know if Frank, I don't know if you ordered yours or not.
They just came out, so
Okay.
as far as I know, there's a healthy stock. Yeah.
So, well, don't count on it because Italy has been short shipping us a bit because
True.
they're doing so many of the new nibs, in-house nibs. They can only make so much, and so we've been getting a steady stream of things in. So, zap me over the weekend or something with whatever you want, and I'll put it in. The other latest release, which I think was pretty cool, was the Tuscan Hills limited edition. Beautiful green. And again, I'm not big on green pens, and these last two have just been awesome. And that retails for $11.95.
Right.
What else do I got here? I have so many pens later out here. The new Divina Bordeaux.
Oh,
Sorry, Tony.
I want it. I want it. I want it.
I've been writing with this Divina for years, but I think this Bordeaux color, and I don't know if you can really see it with my camera or not, but it's an amazing looking
gorgeous.
color.
It's very, very rich wine red.
And
Yeah.
I don't know about you, John, but the Divina, when you hold it in your hand, it's ergonomically comfortable. For me, I mean, it's just a comfortable feel in the hand. It's one of the most comfortable pens I've got. I don't know whether it's because of those rods, but it's a wonderful pen to write with.
When I write with the fountain, Tony, I usually don't post the cap because it's
Right.
a little.
I don't either.
Even with hands that are like my size, it's still a little too much. So I'll just leave the cap off and write with it that way. And I agree with you. It's very comfortable to write with. This, nothing interferes down here, and it's just nice and smooth. But this color I thought was absolutely amazing.
That was gorgeous.
Another pen line that I don't have any with me because we did run out of them was the new Stones collection, which just sold like no tomorrow. The fountain retailed for $9.95. Check them out on colesoflondon.com.
Right there.
They're all up there, but they just sold amazingly well.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
This is the emerald green.
Okay. You're all kind of orange there, Frank. So
Yeah, just your color's a little off. You look a little jaundiced there.
You look like something from
You're gonna need a
Willy
liver
Wonka,
replacement.
like one of the Oompa Loompas there. I don't know.
Is that light all the way up? Is the light all the way up?
oh, yeah, there you go.
That's better. Yeah.
Is the light all the way up? Okay.
Do you want to play in the kitchen?
No, I'm good. This is the blue.
Yeah, just turn it over there, Frank. Let them see the bottom of the barrel. That's where the stones come from because there's the top. The top,
Right,
yes.
the cap. Yeah, right on the cap.
The My Pen system is on the bottom.
It looks a lot like the Homo sapien.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. It's based on that.
The elegant, right?
Yeah.
It's based on that.
Because this is elegant here, but
Yeah,
there's
rolled.
nothing on the back.
Yeah. No, the stones.
And
You have the My Pen system on the top of everything but the stones because they wanted to highlight the stone on the top of the cap. But it's done extremely well with this. And, the way Visconti keeps coming out with product, DuPont is very methodical. It takes a little longer. They're still not back up to speed from the pandemic. And they decided to change some of the inner workings of the line 2 lighters. And so things are a little backed up there. We got the new Guilloche series, the Diamond Guilloche and the Firehead Guilloche, which have done extremely well.
nice. Yeah.
DuPont, as you guys know, is, well, I kind of refer to them as conservatively elegant. But it's basically black and blue pens and chrome pens. Basically, they came out with a white one and an orange one. We're like, whoa, is this DuPont? But then when they gave us this guy, this is the amber. And we've been sold out of the red for 2 months. But these are the original diamond guilloche, sapphire and aquamarine. Again, they're extremely nice.
Wait,
They're-
can I
no,
see
they're
the
little-
aquamarine again? Ooh, that's pretty.
I mean, they're $9.95, but you're getting what you pay for with DuPont. That's the one good thing about this line. And then the sapphire. And then the
Get
new
back
one
one.
is a firehead guilloche pattern. It's a little bit more, it's got a little bit more depth in it than the diamond guilloche. So you have these three. Which are just amazing.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, the amethyst, the purple one. Yeah,
Amethyst.
Yeah.
I want the amethyst.
yeah.
That's it.
Frank, you got your order pad out?
Oh, yeah. Deb.
Stay away from me.
Deb knows how to reach me.
And beautiful 18 karat gold nib. And actually, the red is actually my favorite. I even had to send my sample back because we've sold out.
Wow.
And the lighters, I can't show you any of the samples that DuPont sent me because I just shipped them all to Chicago because that's the one pain in the butt about flying now. I'm doing events in Chicago all next week. I have to ship my lighters. So, but I do have a couple of my own personal ones. I know Frank mentioned to me that some of you guys puff and are into cigars and lighters, and we were all together last week in Las Vegas for the Tobacco Plus Expo. It was
Right.
our first entry was sort of like our coming out party, and it was the first time I had seen Mark Cole for close to 2 years, physically seen him. Saw some other guys that I hadn't seen for quite a while, and it was a great show. We launched this new lighter we have called Hooked. It's a $69 retail torch, and as a hey puppy, and as a DuPont user for the past 20-25 years, I was pretty skeptical about a $69 DuPont, and so it forced me to have a cigar a night for a month and a half and test it, and it was phenomenal. It's a little small in my hands, but it's an amazing lighter. The flame was consistent. The one thing about DuPont lighters, when you use DuPont gas, their gas is very refined, and there's a lot of bad gas out on the market. I mean, we were walking around these shows, and I don't know how many hundreds of different cans of gas I saw, and there is a big difference in butane. And so, if you spend a lot of money for a lighter, you don't want to put bad gas in it. So DuPont manufactures their own. There are specific gases for each lighter. The line 2 lighters, which are these. This lighter probably has 2.5 million air miles on it, and I've had it for well over 20 years. I just recently sent it into our repair facility just to have it tuned up, and it's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
This one I've had for quite a while. This is all Chinese lacquer with rose gold. And again, the signature for DuPont lighters is the ping. And then one of my favorites is one of my favorite cigars is the Fuente. And so that's the Opus X band. And I just filled this up for this event. And it's got the double flame.
Wow.
And then if you like torch lighters, the only torch lighter I have here that I didn't send on, this was a limited edition called Extend. And we call it the Maxi Jet now. And I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Maxi Jets now run $210. There's actually about 7 different torch lighters, if I'm getting them all right, ranging from $69 up to the Defi Double Extreme. And all these, you can see them all on colesoflondon.com. The Defi Double Extreme has 2 flames that go into one. And it's rated at high altitude and at pretty severe heat. So you pretty much take it anywhere. And that takes a special gas of its own. But it's just been, we were awarded the tobacconist distributorship from DuPont January 1st. And so we've all been kind of obsessed with that, getting the accounts and getting everybody up to speed. And it's just, DuPont is such a great name out in the field that there really is no, you know, when you're talking these line 2 lighters, there is no competition to this. I mean, I've used enough of these lighters over the years to know, and I've seen a lot of really nice lighters. You know, Dunhill made some great lighters for a while, but they've kind of fallen off. But DuPont has maintained their quality and craftsmanship for years. So it's just been, you know, we've got another big show in Las Vegas in July, and then I got to start thinking about getting back into the pen business once we get all this going. So.
Is there a different odor from the different gas? You mentioned different gases. Can you tell, like, if they're using a really bad gas and they're lighting up the lighter? Is there an after odor from the flame?
Tony, you can tell by there's no, to answer your question, there is no odor, but you can tell when you light it up. If you had bad gas, that flame would be sputtering and going in any number of directions.
Okay, I get it.
Like, you know, I've got this one turned up high. Mm-hmm. Well, you can kind of see the sparks coming off of it. That's what happens, and you don't want sparks coming off a torch lighter. And so that's what happens when you put bad gas in. And then if you put bad gas in one of these, now, you know, these are $1,100 lighters. And if it goes bad and it goes back for repair, we have 2 authorized repair people, one in New York, another one in North Carolina. They can actually tell you if you put bad gas in it, and so that will void the warranty. So it's always important. When I sell these to dealers, it's always important. I said, look, do you need gas? So it's very important to have the best supplies. I mean, you all don't put crappy ink in your fountain pens, so you don't want to put bad gas in your lighters.
Good point. Does Daniel do the repairs up at Kohl's on those?
He does.
Okay.
Our new policy is that for all torch lighters, if they're within the 2-year warranty, they go back to Kohl's. If Daniel can't fix them, then we replace them. The line 2 lighters, or all the soft flame lighters, the Rons and the line 2s, they all either go to ARS in North Carolina or Art Brown in New York. Yes, and yet this guy did buy the domain name Art Brown.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
Yeah. So, any questions?
Very nice.
No, I do want to make a comment that if the rest of you have never dealt with Kohl's of London, you know, I guess my excuse for calling up there is just to say hi to Susan, but truthfully, the Daniel in that repair department he does a great job. I mean, they're very responsive. They've always been good. I've got a pen right up there right now, that Magnifico, that brand new one I had to send up there. So he does a great job.
It's been a really fun experience working with all of them. I mean, Susan I've known from doing Fountain Hospital and parties events for years. In fact, I saw her last week. She came to Vegas for the show. It was great to see her.
Right.
You know, Victoria's in accounts payable. Caliph is pretty much responsible for Visconti, and then Peter's pretty much responsible for DuPont. And then, you know, it's just such a cohesive team, and they're just great people to work with. You know, nobody cares what your title is there. It's just one big team. So it's nice to I'll pass that on to Mark and Michael, Tony.
I have a repair question for you. I don't know what to call a repair or what to call it, but I've brought it up on one of the other Zooms that we've had. I've got my very first fountain pen. I absolutely love this pen. It's a Visconti Opera.
Okay.
And I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see this ring here?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a red stain here. Is that red?
I see it. Yeah.
That is between the plastic insert and the pen. You can't soak it out. You can't get any liquid back behind it. I don't know how that ink got in there, but it did. And so I've tried everything a gazillion times over, a sonic cleaner. I can't get the plastic insert out. I don't want to ruin the thing. And then that dark black thing there,
Yeah.
that's my new stain. I decided I'll never use red in this ink, this pen again. And I put in some decent black ink, and now I can't get that out. And it's on it's in the threads of the plastic. Is that plastic? Is there something? Do you make newer plastic inserts that are better quality, maybe, or they don't stain like this?
No, Dan, I had that problem at Pilot with the Prera and the Custom 74. Is that there's a, especially in the Prera, there's like a clouded sleeve that goes up into the clear barrel. Because the Japanese did not want anybody looking at a dirty nib. And my argument was, well, nibs get dirty anyway, but what would you rather have? And ink would get inside of that tube. And
Same thing happens with noodlers too.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to point that out.
And I have tried, I've got a sonic cleaner here. I've used that. I put 409 in, I put ammonia in, I put way more than I should in. And sometimes it'll come up, but the frustrating part is that it might go and just circulate. Like where yours is right now on your barrel, Dan, it might like just decide to take a ride then to the other side. And then you think you've got it all done, and then you turn it over and go, oh, how did this happen? So no, I mean, and different acrylic resins will stain. I don't know. I don't think Daniel's got any better equipment to clean than a sonic cleaner. I mean, you could send it to him, tell him we talked, and see if he can do something with it. I know we don't have any barrels or caps to replace, and I don't think Italy does either.
What about the insert?
I don't think that insert's meant to come out.
Oh, okay.
And that was the problem that I had at Pilot. I said, just take it out, don't put it in there. I said, it's easier to clean a dirty nib and a dirty cap without having that insert in, having to go around. So I don't think that's meant to come out.
Okay. All
I think it's also, it doubles as a cap liner to keep ink from drying out.
Yeah.
I love this pen, and it's just really special to me, and I don't want to lose it. But I guess I could just send it in. I mean, what do I just do? I call him on the phone and talk to him first, or do I just send it to him and try to get him to repair it? What do I do?
Send it to him and put a note in there that we talked over the Zoom, and that please do what you can, and because it just needs. There's nothing wrong with the pen, right?
No, it's perfect.
Okay, yeah, he'll see what he can do. I'm thinking if you couldn't do it, I'm not sure you can, but you never know.
I'd give him a call first, because maybe they have a simple answer that you can do over the phone.
Yeah.
I just sent Dan after the Zoom. I'll give you a call. I'll tell you how to go about sending that up.
Okay, I appreciate it. I was just going to ask who do I do?
I've done a couple. 2 or 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
I'll help you out.
I absolutely love this pen. I don't want anything to happen to it.
So is the new Opera, the brand new one out? So it's going to be the same size as that Opera, correct?
Yeah, it should be.
John?
Yeah. As I said, I don't think I can look at my drawer. I don't think I've got any operas left here that I haven't sent back because we've been out of stock of them. So there's very few. When I get my samples, there's very few that I will ink up. I had to ink up the Crystal Dreams because that means I don't have to send it back now. Oh, it's dirty. You can't sell it to me. So, I'm sorry, but I had to put Hiroshizuku Yamabudo in it. It's the only bottle of Hiroshizuku I kept. So DuPont is, I saw the new DuPont limited edition at the show. I held it. I don't have pricing on it yet. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's a company. You can buy a fountain pen, you can buy a line 2 lighter, and then you can buy the big set. And the big set is absolutely ridiculous looking. The pen is shaped like a rocket ship, and the lighter looks like the lunar module, but then it sits on the legs. And so who knows how much that's going to be? But the other one is what I'd say like a normal looking fountain pen, very subtle. Got some great colors in it. And so those all will be out in October. As far as Visconti goes, Visconti's been kind of launching stuff on their own Instagram page before they tell us. So it's we've kind of asked them about that, and they're trying to be a little nicer to us with that. But as I said, the good thing about Visconti is they're coming out with stuff all the time. So we look forward to now that we're starting to travel again, and a lot of the mask restrictions are being lifted. A lot of the stores are reopening. We look forward to having a great fourth quarter.
John, as I understand, I know Dante's not obviously involved with Visconti anymore, although I've heard that he's still has an interest in it, an interest of, in the company. I don't know, is that true or not?
He's strictly Pennider, Tony.
I knew that. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think he has, this is the first time I've ever heard anyone mention that. I don't think he has a financial interest in it.
Okay.
It was a split, and
well, yeah.
I mean, last time I saw Dante was last Fun and Hospital show I did, December 19th.
Wow.
So we had dinner, a bunch of us. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to getting back into doing shows. I know that the regional pen shows, I'm going to do Chicago, Dallas, Washington, and San Francisco. Those aren't my favorite things to do. It was kind of nice. I could get, I had a couple of reps, and I could get there a day late and leave a day early, and really didn't have to do anything. But it'll just be fun getting back out and seeing everybody. Larry Drumgoole had a couple of shows last year in Dallas and San Antonio, and invited 3 or 4 of us to come down and do them. And I thought they were great. I mean, we just got to get over all this and get back out and start working. And we've been lucky that the pen business has stayed very, very strong with all of the dealers. Even though, like FPH still isn't open, and Farney store isn't open. And Tony, I think your guy closed. Did Jeff close?
No, he did not. No,
Okay.
I just was in there. I was in there just a couple of days ago. No, he's still open.
Okay, then I need to give him a call then.
Yeah.
But we really haven't lost anybody throughout all this, which is pretty amazing. Everybody stayed pretty resilient, and the internet business certainly helped. Anderson Pen is still not reopened in Chicago just because the Palmer House can't reopen, because they'll lose money being half occupied. So I'm actually going to see them. I'm going to drive up to Appleton on next Wednesday and do an event there Wednesday afternoon. So it'll be nice to see Brian and Lisa. So, and then I'll be at Atlas Stationers on Tuesday, and Up Down Cigar in Chicago on Friday. So any of your viewers are out and about, come on in.
Yeah, and we're only 3 weeks away from the Raleigh Pen Show, the Triangle Pen Show.
Yeah.
First show back since last March, March 2020, since the Long Island and Little Rock Pen shows were the same weekend, the very first weekend of March. Yeah. And we of course shut down that following week.
Well, I was talking to Brian Goulet the other day, and apparently I'm the last vendor that they saw in their office a year ago, February.
Wow.
Alexa, stop. Sorry.
It's unreal. I mean, it's so nice getting on. I've been on a couple of airplanes since all this started and everything, but going to Vegas, and I was there for 5 nights, and it was funny because at the show they had the mask police. They didn't even have badges on, and at the hotels they had in the restaurants and everything. And then the mandate came that if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask. Well, it looked like the entire city of Las Vegas ditched their masks. The last night we were there, we're going out for dinner. Everybody was walking around with a smile on their face, and it was great.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I want to share my latest Visconti pen since you're on here, John.
Okay.
He's got this. I don't know. See if you can recognize this one.
Ooh.
I'll tell you what. The box that this thing came in, the display,
it's cool.
Is just and incredible.
Yeah.
It's a fabulous pen.
Where'd you get it from?
I got it from Regina Martini.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. She's a German seller over in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a beautiful pen.
What's it called, Tony?
It's called the Machina. It's called the Leonardo da Vinci Machina.
Oh,
The
dude,
thing,
I love that color.
you know, when I was with Pilot, the packaging was very traditional, very old school, because that's the way the Japanese are. It's pretty cool now seeing all the different presentations for Visconti and DuPont. DuPont is fairly predictable, with the exception of their limited editions. I mean, I think it's still on our website. The From Paris with Love.
Yes.
That was,
Yes.
I used Larry Dromgold's at the show in Dallas, and I'm like, okay, how does this work? And you take the dome off, and there's a building there, a famous Paris building. You set the pen in, and then you press a button, and the light, because the pen is clear in the bottom, the light goes all the way up the pen. And it was so cool. And then the whole set that included the lighter was really something. You know, the one thing about DuPont is when they come out with limited edition, it's a limited edition, and I don't think I've ever seen one that I didn't like. I mean, you're gonna pay for them, but at the same time, they're amazing looking pieces.
Yeah, they're all gorgeous, great presentation, especially the Bond editions. You know, they're so well coveted and liked.
Yeah. The Bond. I've got the behind me. I've got my Bond stuff there, and I've got the lighter and a couple of pens, and we sold out of that pretty quick. So yeah. So this year, I think we're going to get back into more of the cigar manufacturers. You know, I showed you the Fuente. I know we're speaking to some other manufacturers about putting their logo on, and they're always favorites because like pen brands, cigar smokers have their favorites. And you know, mine has always been the Fuentes and the Opus X. In fact, I had my license plate to my car for a while said FF Opus X. And I was going to an event, and I had Carlito, his dad, and his sister sign the license plate. So that's framed up in my den. But
that's pretty cool.
But you guys know how it is with collecting particular branded pens, that you just get stuck on them. And you know, early on doing pen shows, I discovered that it doesn't matter if I'm giving 60 or 70% off. If somebody wants a Visconti or they want a Mont Blanc, leave them alone. That's what they're going to get, and that's what they want. So that was one reason I would do events with David Oscarson, because his collector and mine with Pilot were pretty closely identified. So we would do as many events as we could together. So,
my gosh, Larry,
have you been to Visconti in Italy already?
we did some Visconti. What did you not offer something?
No, I'm just not all together. I'm on another planet.
Well, if you're just talking about planets, then you missed the whole deal on the SQ DuPont space.
Well, to be honest with you, you're just breaking up on this end. I'm thinking, what the hell is he saying?
Oh. You guys
sounded like this, and huh? Okay. I just didn't want to say nothing, but now.
It's clear on my end. I don't know about everybody.
For me.
Well, thank you, everybody. But on this end, I know I wasn't messed up. I just didn't want to be rude. But now I can be rude. Go ahead, John.
What do you want me to start over?
John!
Okay, these are the new diamond carousel, or the demo carousel. Okay.
Turn that orange light off.
Okay, they got a hook safe lock. They got the double power reservoir. You with me, Larry?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I'm going to buy one. Believe it or not.
You said you were going to buy 10
from Frank.
Right, that's right.
Frank.
10.
He's gonna buy one for everybody.
No, Frank, he didn't want me to buy it from him. He wanted to buy it from you because I'm going to use fake money.
Yeah. And you also invited me to pay for it all.
That's right, yeah. And to make sure I don't get gypped, I'm going to have Marky make sure it's right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my hit man right there, Marky. Yeah.
Like I told you, as long as Frank pays his invoice to me, I don't care what he sells it to you.
Oh man!
Oh my God!
Frank's cost is fixed. Yours is not, Larry.
So, question, there are some brands of pens that are higher than others. Any reason for that?
I have found it's where they're actually made. I've been very lucky to represent 3 of what I think are the best pen brands in the business, between Pilot, Visconti, and DuPont. They're very different the way that they do things. I mean, with Pilot, you put in an idea, you might wait a couple of years for it, which was fine because you knew it was going to be perfection when it came out. With DuPont, it's the same way. They're very methodical. Their craftsmanship is, I mean, that's one factor I can't wait to see, especially with the lighters. There's supposed to be like 300 parts in this lighter. And with the Chinese lacquer, I want to see that. Visconti, they come up with the most incredible looking resins that they can make pens out of. And they might call the office and say, look, we got enough resin to do 40 pens. You want them? And we'll get a price, and then we'll say, sure. And we did a couple exclusives for Dromgools and for Brian Greer Chatterley. But they'll do things like that. So I think I'm fortunate to represent 3 of the greatest pen brands in the world. When you start getting out into some of the outer Asian countries, that's where you get some quality issues. I know DuPont is moving most of their lighter manufacturing back to France. In the long run, there will only be 1 lighter that will be made in China, and that was the inexpensive hooked lighter I told you about. The retails for $69, but the rest of them will all be made in France. So not that we had a problem with them, but I remember when you guys probably remember the Night series that Pilot had some years ago. Originally, that was made in Taiwan. It was a good pen, but they moved it back to Japan, and the cost went up. And so that's when the MR pen is introduced. So it just depends. I love German pens too. I mean, Pelikan, Lamy, Faber, they're all great brands. It just seems like the European countries and Japan, I think, put out the best pens. And of course, I'm a little partial with Italy that Visconti has the best pens. Yeah,
I got to tell you right now, I agree with you, I was, the only regret I had from my last trip to Italy was I was supposed to tour the Visconti plant, and I had called them up and talked to you'll know who it is, the gal there in charge. I talked to her, and she says, okay, you're going to get the CEO is going to take you for a tour of the facility, but he can't do it till tomorrow afternoon. We were leaving that day, and I wasn't able to make that happen. I just went to the flagship store and bought a pen, but I regret not being able to go through the factory. I thought it would have been really cool.
Well, if you plan another trip there, let me know in advance, and we'll hook you up.
Oh, great! I appreciate it.
I had a Zoom tour of the factory. That was pretty cool, but nothing like seeing it in person. Because when I would go to Japan, I'd spend as much time as I could at the factory, just watching them, whether it be doing the Maki pens or whether making some nibs or putting together some vanishing points or whatever. I love the technical aspect of it, and I can't wait to see how especially with DuPont, how that's done, and then Visconti, see how they turn the acrylics. Like there's 3 different acrylic in this pen. I just would love to see how that is done. And then of course, with the new in-house nib, which has gone over really well. I mean, Bach nibs are really nice, which we had before, but I was happy to see that Visconti took it upon themselves to start making their own, and we've had a lot of good success with this.
Yeah, really nice nibs. I like them. No complaints on my end, not at all.
Is that a metal grip section? It's hard to tell through the video.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's metal.
Thank you. I don't like metal grip sections. You need to tell them. You say, look here, sir. If you're going to spend $1,000 on a pen, it better have a very fancy, nice grip section.
Well, the DuPont has that ridges on those on the D line. Is that right, John? And it helps you grip that pen a lot easier as well.
I like it a lot because I had actually loaded my red one before I sent it back. I was writing with that every day because because you guys that know me know I'm not really a fountain pen guy. But then when I started writing with these, you know, obviously I used to write with the Pilot fountain pen sometimes, but I still prefer ballpoints or roller balls. But this is rigid here, or it's got ridges
Right.
on it. So
Right.
it really, even if your fingertips are a little sweaty, it's going to adhere and not have you slip down. And next thing you know, your middle finger is covered with ink. So yeah, it's very nice.
You see, and this is my problem. Being a physician and walking around with red fingers, people have the wrong idea. Okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah, you know,
You need a dermatologist.
Where is Doc anyway?
I got a question. You're talking about Visconti nibs, who made the old Bach ones. I've got this really nice Divina. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out who made this nib. It's a steel nib, but it has gold webbing on it.
wow. And it's got no discernible markings that you can see on it to tell you whose it was.
No, well, it just says fine, and it says Visconti on the bottom of it. But was it a Bach nib or was it a Visconti made nib?
No, Visconti just started making their nibs this year, and I don't believe that they're making any steel nibs, nor have they ever.
No, it's still Bach. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that was a Bach nib. Yeah.
Okay. The gold is overlays it. It's like a whole layer of gold. It's, you know, all by itself up on top of it.
You mean plating, or is it layered?
Well, the reason that was done, the overlay, Visconti was under the impression that with that gold that's overlaid on steel, it's going to make it more of a gold type nib, and you can really feel and see the difference when you use it. That was the big thing about it back then. But, you know, a lot of people disagreed, so it's back and forth on that.
This
Why
is
did
the only one of these
Visconti
I've
do
seen.
that? Yeah, they're saying, why did Visconti, you know, do that? Just to make that a gold nib? To put that over the top, they were saying. There was a big thing about this, yeah.
Well, like the Delta Fusion, kind of almost like the Delta
exactly
Fusion.
like the Delta Fusion. Exactly, yeah.
So when was that pen out? Because I've only seen pictures of this, and I couldn't imagine putting a steel nib on a Divina.
Yeah.
Was it?
That's a Divina Elegance. That's a Divina Elegance. I think that has the different kind of
Okay.
Yeah. So it would have been a Bach nib, you think?
Yeah.
Frank, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident they were always Bach.
But that nib is a nice, juicy nib. You got to give it that. It's a good nib.
Yeah. It writes great. I love this pen.
Yeah, but
This
that was the argument going on. You know, they're copying Delta and vice versa. And why'd you do this? It doesn't help. And it's been going on for a while. I think it just calmed down a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's another keeper. I love it.
Good. Yeah, the Breeze, the Mirage pens, number 5 steel Bach.
Yeah.
The Van Gogh and the Rembrandts, they're still steel. They're still Bach. And number 6 steel for both the Van Gogh and the Rembrandts.
I would have to check. I have not heard of any plans that the Visconti will start making their own steel nibs. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but I have not heard anything about whether they would do that. I think, you know, I've gotten calls for, you know, can I buy extra nibs? And we just haven't been able to get any because they've been putting them on all the pen bodies to get them out, especially with so many new launches. There's just not enough production to have extra nibs. So, I mean, I can find that out, and I can let you know, Frankie. You get the word out but I'm
Sure.
pretty sure it's all Bach.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This crew knows that I still have Palladium nibs, and I still have 18 karat Bach nibs, all Bach, Palladium, 18 karat Bach. I have them loose, and I'm also more than happy to put them in pens as well.
I'll keep that in mind because I do get calls every once in a while.
Sure.
That you've got them. You got a lot of them?
Yeah, I have a few Palladium.
Okay.
I have about 3 or 4 altogether. I have an extra fine, and I actually have a stub, and I have a couple mediums in Palladium.
So did you all like the palladium nibs?
Palladium.
Did you all like those?
I love my palladium nibs, all of them.
Okay.
Never
Yeah,
have-
I've heard kind of a mixed bag on everything.
yeah.
Larry, you're on mute.
Larry, you're muted.
Yeah, I love all my palladium nibs. I have never, ever, and I truthfully say this, had a problem with my nibs. And I've done many reviews on them, and people think I'm lying, I'm making up crap. Palladium's no good, or this or that. I said, I don't know about anybody else. I could just speak for myself on this pen that I'm reviewing right now. I've never had a problem. Very nice nib.
Okay, good. So like I said, I've heard issues on both. I know that the overall response to the new Visconti in-house nib has been very, very positive. And
that's true.
We've had a few come back, but we'd had a few box come back. So you're always going to have, a couple of tweaks, but it's not really something that either Daniel can't repair or we just replace it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Visconti has had to endure some bad pub over the years for quality issues or whatever, and I've got probably 37 Visconti pens, and I've never had an issue with any of them. Well, this very last one I had to send back and it was only because it was a cracked collar. The plastic was cracked in the collar, and I called up Kohl's and warned them about that because my friend over in England had the same pen, the exact same thing. So we caught it, and I didn't publicize. There's no reason to do that. It's something just could be easily fixed.
Yeah.
So.
And like I said, I had bad pens and pilots, and or pens that needed repair or whatever.
Yeah.
Quality control at both Pilot and Kohl's is great. So. So, we deal with it as it comes, and, Kohl's customer service is tops. And so if we replace it or whatever, so it's good. What are you saying, Frank? You can get.
What can you get, Frank? So we can order it.
And next thing you know, Frank's gonna be running a banner across the bottom of the screen.
Hey, you want to buy a pen? Give me a kid. I'm using the iPad tonight, which might explain the orange color here with the dining room light. Actually, there is one bulb is out, and I'm using my iPad instead of my laptop. So that might explain the fact that I'm orange. No, it's not a deep tan. No worries.
Well, Frank, your entire room would be a deep tan then, because it looks like you've got goldenrod walls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's actually called cream in my coffee is what the color of the walls actually are.
Well, you know what? Don't invite me over for coffee.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on here. I'm a little more orange than I should be. Look at that. See, I'm turning the light around. You can see.
Yeah, I think I'd much rather have coffee with Tony or your
Sorry.
Hey, can I give you a plug, Frank? I officially ordered an order from you, and I want to thank you. You did a great job. And I appreciate this little preppy. And the reason I appreciate that is because I have a pen to now put in Bay State Blue.
Okay,
so,
good.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
I always try to throw a preppy in a lot of my sales. So yeah.
That paper is dynamite. That paper is dynamite. Really good.
Catch you in the morning. I don't even get that from him. Damn, what can I say? Hey, you're the new jewel in town. What can I say, my man? Hell, take it over.
Oh, wow.
You guys are too much.
We have a lot of fun.
Hey, John, I hear through the grapevine you're a party guy. Now, come on, John.
Who'd you hear that from?
John, I have my way, but hey, like you don't think I know what's going on.
I don't know. You know, Frank talked to my wife earlier today because I gave her my phone. I said, Frank calls. I said, you know, tell him I need the code to get in. And I said, I'm going out with the rototiller. So he was chatting it up with my wife. So she might have said something. I don't know.
And your wife, that wasn't Frank. I just can't say, but it was all good about you though.
I have been known to have an occasional glass of bourbon and a cigar.
Oh,
You're in good company here.
Tony,
Yeah,
you're in
the
good
one thing-
company.
Tony, he has been known.
That's right. That's right.
Last week I was known a lot in Vegas. So
Stay away from Vegas.
we go to the cigar bar and in Caesar's Palace, Casa Monte Cristo, and I walk up, the bartender and take my mask down. He said, okay, he said, I got to ask you to put your mask back on between puffs. And I'm like, okay. So I came up with a solution. So I had a glass of bourbon in one hand and a cigar in the other. So I had my mask down. So another bartender turned around, I took a hit off either one of them. And it worked out really well the whole night.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Gosh.
So yes, Larry, I have been known to go out, but it's all in good fun, and I have the blessings of my wife, so we're all good.
Good.
Oh, that's cool. I'm not okay. I'm just saying that you're okay guy. You're cool.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Really.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in DC in August. It'll really be
Yeah,
good.
that'll be fun. And like you said, Frank, I mean, it'd just be good to get out, and even though I was at Drum Ghouls 2 events during the height of all this, and that was great, but now just be able to get out and have the crowds come around, and we've been fortunate that this pen business has stayed so good throughout this ordeal that just getting out and seeing all of these collectors, and that's the one thing too about Visconti's got this great leather line, and
Yes.
and I've not been able to get this in anybody's hands as far as the consumer goes. This is a 12 pen pouch. We've got 2, 3. This retails for $2.95, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 6 pen pouches in beautiful leather, 4 different colors, and I just think that sales are just going to skyrocket. Oh, one lighter I didn't show you. One lighter I just got the other day. This is a keyring lighter. Now, I'm not quite sure I'd want to light a cigar with this with my thumb so close, but it's kind of cool. But anyway, just getting out and seeing people and being able to interact with consumers again and being able to see all you guys, it'll just be awesome. Absolutely awesome. So hopefully things will stay calm and things won't get back up upheaval again, and the bureaucrats will cease from running us, and we'll just get back into our normal routines.
So, John, do you make all the pen shows or just certain ones?
Before I went to Coles of London, I would only do Dallas because I don't feel. In the old days, Larry, when Namiki came over here in '94, the guy that I worked for at the time, we went to all of them, and it just got to be a discounting war. So they'd come to me and they'd say, okay, how much is this Yukari cherry blossoms? And I said, 2,000 retail. And the consumer would make the rounds. And by the time he came back, he'd show me the pen. He says, I got it for 1,200. Okay, why am I here doing this? So, I did go to LA, I did Chicago, when I would just go as like an observer. When I would go to Dallas, I could call on, Jimmy Dollar from Total was there, the Van Nessas were there, Andersons were there, Drum Ghouls were there. I could make like 7 calls in a day where I didn't have to get on a plane and go to all these places. And I could sit there and talk to them during lulls in the show. But now with Kohl's, it's a very important part of their business that they do as far as selling at the shows. So they do it a much different way. We will sell product to consumers at the show, but say, okay, what dealer do you want it to go through? And we will take the pen. We have stock shipped in, and like we would take the pen and we'd walk it over to Larry Dromgold, or we'd walk it over to Detlef Bittner or the Van Nessas or whoever they wanted to put it through. And so it's very, very profitable for Kohl's to do this. And so someone from Kohl's will be at literally at every regional pen show. I was telling Frank, we're not going to do Raleigh, which is kind of odd because we're in North Carolina. So
Home show. Yeah.
But they just said no. Miami, I think, is out. I'm not sure about Long Island or what's the one in Ohio? Is it Columbus?
Columbus, yes.
Yeah. So it's just mainly the really big ones that are very profitable for us and for our dealers. So, and when I go to, I'm out here in the West, so San Francisco, so that's nothing for me to go to. Chicago, I go to a lot. DC, I've got Farney's, and then I got a couple of cigar stores there that I can call on. So it makes sense for me to do this. Dallas is kind of like a second home to me. I used to go there so much when Penrite was there. I don't know if you guys remember Penrite. Great store in a high-end mall. We did phenomenally well there, but they closed. So we'll do most of the big ones. I don't know. Have you heard if LA has been re-announced yet?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. So
I looked.
St. Louis is doing it virtually in June.
Yeah.
And then next year they'll be back up and running. St. Louis is a great show, John. If you get a chance next year, if you're doing that, it's a great run show.
Oh, I'm sure I will, because David Oscarson has been bugging me for years to come, so I can have dinner at his new house. So yeah, so I would do that.
I wanted to say thank you to both Larry and Frank for sending me this paper. This is quite excellent stuff. I've been doing tests on it with all kinds of pens and ink and paper, and the only thing that's put through so far is a Sharpie, which is
very good. Yeah,
pretty awesome. It even does better than my Walmart penny or 100 GSM paper, which is pretty hard to beat. So I'm very impressed.
Well, Sharpie, I think it's bleeds through any kind of paper. I've tried all kinds of paper.
I think it is their goal to bleed through all of the papers.
That was like the first thing I did when I left Pilot. I bought a Sharpie.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, and it's in it's on my workbench. I use it all the time. Like, okay, yeah, I got Pilot.
If Pilot would make number 6 size nibs, they would be dangerous, because their feeds are open wide and they're meant for the flow. But their specific nibs are terrible.
Well, my big thing with Pilot is I wanted an FA nib on a custom 823.
Yes.
And I tried forever. And actually, one of my best friends,
or a 92
at Pilot, has my job now, along with 3 others. And I saw he actually went to Vegas because he also runs new business development, and he was looking for some ceramic pieces to put in vape pipes and all that. I don't do that stuff, but and he's half Japanese, and there was a dealer in Japan that was selling the custom 823 with an FA nib, and I'm like, okay, we obviously make it, so why? Yeah. And the 823, when I left, it was the most popular pen that I had at Pilot.
Now, this is the 912. I hate it.
And if you could make the custom 823 with an FA nib in clear with rhodium trim, you could all retire.
Yeah.
Or the 92.
I've got the clear with the gold trim with an FA, and it's fabulous pen.
Yeah.
So actually, I have the 912 and I have the Falcon, and so that the first time I go to Italy, I will hand them to Nicola and say, I need this on a Homo sapiens.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Now, if he says to me what the Japanese used to say to me when I used to make suggestions, Johnson, stick to your day job and sell product. Do not suggest product.
Oh, man.
No, first you have to offer Nicola some wine and, kind of get him loosened up a little bit.
I don't think that's a problem.
Either that or they need to start reverse engineering the Boinga Boinga nib.
Look at the doctor with his red fingers.
He's got great handwriting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boinga Boinga, here he goes.
Oh my God.
This nib was sold to me by Pierre Gustafson, and it is the most flexy thing I have, and it is just, they don't make nibs like this anymore.
Wow.
That's really nice. No, the people of Visconti are very nice. I've had a couple of really nice Zoom calls with them and email exchanges, and I can't wait to meet them. And just like the DuPont people have been great. I mean, it's tough to I'll do all this over Zoom, but we're all in the same boat, and sooner or later that we'll all be allowed to travel where we want to go and get going. So, but I mean,
Cross fingers.
I can't say enough about the group of Coles of London and the two brands that I now represent, and it's just been awesome.
Fabulous. I think secretly we all would love to do what you do, although I know it's hard work. As being in sales myself, it's not all playing around with pens. You're working your tail off, but what you're selling is something we all love for sure.
Yeah, my wife and I have a vineyard in the backyard. That's where the rototiller was when Frank called my wife, and it was sort of like, I think she told Frank, she said, yeah, John used to work like 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 hours a day with Pilot, and he could go out in the yard, and now he's working past 5 and up early, and but it really is a lot of fun. And that was my one fear about going to work for someone else, is that after selling Pilot, I'd walk in and open up my pen case and I'd go, shit. And I wouldn't be proud of what I was selling, but having a lineup like DuPont and Visconti is it's wanted in the market. It's awesome.
It is.
Yeah, I knew of John when I first started, and I was working when I had Pilot. And what happened was Pilot at that time on the Mid-Atlantic here, they had outside vendors representing the dealers. So Pilot USA would get like a third party represented. I think you remember that, John, and that's what I had. I got like an outside vendor that I would buy items through. And a lot of the problem was a lot of those outside vendors didn't know about the premium instruments. They only knew about the blister pack stuff because that's what they mostly dealt with. They mostly dealt with the big box stores and all that would buy, G2s and the blister packs and all. And I would tell them about all these good pens, and I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, just send this order to Pilot. They will understand what I'm looking for. That's what I used to literally tell them, things like that, because the reps, like I said, they were from like a marketing company and they wouldn't know in the Mid-Atlantic. But now Pilot has actually taken control of that again. I actually report right to the vice president of sales. And John, you know who I'm talking about, Mark. So I report to him now. When I want to order something, I buy it right from him. It used to be prior to about last year, I was dealing with outside vendors, and I had dealt with like 2 or 3 of them before I finally started dealing directly with Mark, who's the VP of sales of Pilot USA, And
which Mark, you deal with Mark Popolo?
Yep, I do.
Okay,
I do now.
That's what I have dinner with him Monday night. He's the regional, he's the regional manager in Chicago. The VP of sales is in Florida.
Oh, okay.
So you're the guy who took my job, Sean McWilliams. He, again, as I said, he didn't want my job. He knew about it because he was with me in all the meetings in Japan, and he's got the relationship with Japan, so it was only natural that they would give it to him. But then he was overwhelmed with some of his other jobs that he delegated to the different reps. Like the rep in Chicago is Monique Slazinski. She's a good pal of mine. So she calls it Atlas. But then she's also selling G2s and friction, PP5s, that sort of thing. And so
good.
So her boss then works for Mark, is rep group that was assigned to Mark. So great guy. He will absolutely take care of you. Oh
yeah, he has been. Yeah, he's been great. Like I said, I knew of you. You and I had like corresponded by email, but I didn't really know you well. Because I reported to, I put my orders through with outside vendors, and since you've been with Coles, you and I have been working together great. And, you're great. You were great even in the Pilot days. And now that I know you, things are really good. I'm glad the support's there. And yeah, Coles is really good to me and all the dealers, We all deal with you.
It's an amazing group. I mean, we as I said, we took over this distributorship for the lighters January 1st, and you guys have no idea how many tobacconists there are in this country. And granted, they all won't be able to buy things like this, but they could buy the $69 lighter, and it's just, we're totally bombarded. And so I think the overall plan is to someday reorganize things and hire some more people. We hired 2 guys that are in Charlotte. They're just they're all just doing the lighters. They're doing a great job. And And then we just hired the person who used to run ST DuPont 20 some odd years ago, brought him on. And so he's gotten us back into some of the larger accounts and the opportunities with actual cigar manufacturers. So there's a lot of really, really good things coming along. Mark Cole is always looking for new lines. We're all kind of hoping he doesn't find any, because it's not like we need any more to do, but he's only going to give us the best. And so, we're not going to get some line that's and I don't even have it. There is not. Oh, okay. Well, I got this. I got my tiki pen that my friend Rodney in Hawaii sent me. So we're not going to start.
Yeah.
Coles of London is not going to start selling stuff like this. But
Reminds me of Cartoon Carnival, something like that. It's kind of cool. Yeah.
absolutely. And then, of course, I've had my one Mont Blanc, the Jules Verne.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah,
And
Rider's Edition.
That my good friend Earl Shigemoto, rest in peace, at Honolulu Pen, he gave to me one year because I love Jules Verne, the author, and he gave this to me. And it's funny because it's a ballpoint, and Earl's been gone now 15, 16 years, and he probably gave this to me 17 years ago. I've never changed the refill, and every Father's Day I would send a text to his daughter or Buzz's daughters on Facebook. I said, same refill your dad gave me. It has never run out, and it's a broad refill. How can this not run out? The replacement I have in my drawer back there is probably out, and this is not.
Wow.
So, and then I've got the old, this is an older DuPont 007.
That's beautiful.
Great lines to work with. It's awesome. Having a great time.
So, John, I'm just curious. Back to Visconti, the heart of Visconti at the factory. How many people do work there actually making the pens?
I did ask that question, and I think it's less than 20. I think it's not that many. And actually, there weren't that many people at Pilot either. Most of the production facility at Pilot was empty as far as fine pen goes. When I left, there was 4 maquille artists. And so there's not that much because there is some machinery involved. The Divina, I found out, has the most waste of any pen because you have to get the Sterling bars lined up. And there's a lot of waste to that pen. So more people, I think, work on that. But there's not that many people there.
Okay, cool.
It's not I don't think it's some huge assembly line like, you'd walk out into the blister pack area at Pilot and there'd be 100 people out there and packaging blister pens.
Lamy or someplace like Lamy.
Oh, that could be it. Lamy, yeah. So yeah.
Well, any more questions, folks, that you'd like to ask John? Fire it up.
So Tony, I'll give Jeff a call and kind of get going because I had heard that he had closed. So I'm glad to hear.
He's never there. There's one young kid working there named Hunter. He's running the show. He's the only employee at the moment, and their inventory needs to be upgraded. He said they started doing a little more business now. So maybe you ought to talk to Jeff and get some more product in there because he needs some more Visconti product for sure.
All right, I'll give him a call. I mean, I understand a lot of these dealers when I could sell them a lot of stuff, but it sort of like adds up.
Oh yeah.
There was a guy that came by the cigar show and he said, I only want to spend $4,000 with you. I said, okay. And so one of the guys had their iPad and he was going through and he was clicking, I want 2 of these, I want 2 of these, I want 2 of these, 3 of these, 6 of those, and everything. And we hit total, it was $14,000. I'm like, cool.
Maybe you should have said 4,000 at a time,
Yeah.
Just kind of market that.
So we worked it down to 6, and I was real happy with that. But I understand, especially in some of these areas that have been hard hit, and with their business being down. Let's face it, the internet dealers have really taken over this business, and I still think you can't beat, a brick and mortar being able to go in and being able to see it, you know, doing the Fountain Pen Hospital show for 3 days, doing Farney's for 2 days, people would come in. And I mean, they might come in, they might look at the pen and they say, okay, and they'd whisper, is it available at Goulet? Is it available at Federalist? I said, yeah, Frank has everything. He has a complete line in stock.
Yeah.
And, you know, the one cool thing too about Kohl's, and I keep reminding Frank and other people like this, we will drop ship. So
Right.
you don't have to carry this stuff. Just put it on your site that it's available, and email me, email the guys in Charlotte and say, look, ship it to this. And it's like an $8 upcharge. So we charge the dealer. That way, Frank doesn't have to be, you know, as much as I'd like Frank to have $100,000 worth of DuPont and Visconti inventory, he doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Your
I
wife
think I've got most of my Visconti have come drop ship from Kohl's.
Yeah, and that was unheard of at Pilot. There was no way that we would do that at Pilot, just because of the liability. But you know, when I talk to the people at Kohl's, they're like, "What liability? You got to sign for it. It's no big deal." So it's fine. And so that has really been a great add-on feature that I can tell people that, okay, you don't have to carry inventory. And I will send you images. We got this photographer she is amazing. And as soon as we get pens in stock in Charlotte, we send them to her. She takes high-end res images. She does a lot of like luxury shots, groupings, and we'll send out all the images. And so all you have to do is upload them on your site, and you're good. So there's a lot of good features with Kohl's being a small company, yet we're growing really, really well now because of the lighter business. And Visconti is going through the roof as well. So there's a lot of good things going on.
Okay, anything else, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm good. Let's not wait another year, Larry.
John, thanks for coming. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, John.
John.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, John. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Larry.
Okay.
And Marilyn.
Thanks, guys.
Everybody.
John, if you haven't
Everybody
been to the
coming.
Gala show, I'll see you there, God willing.
Absolutely.
Take care. Thanks for coming, John. Frank,
See you.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Frank.
Love,
You
guys.
Good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.